What if I told you the Giza Plateau holds entire cities beneath the sand? That pharaohs built secret chambers we are only now discovering? That queens older than the pyramids themselves once ruled Egypt, but their names were erased? Today, with AI, archaeology, and truth as our guide, we descend into the depths of ancient Egypt. Not the Egypt of postcards, not the Egypt of Hollywood, but the one they buried. Brace yourself. This is the real story. Beneath the sun-scorched surface of the Giza Plateau lies one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of the ancient world. While tourists walk the sand and marvel at the pyramids above, an entirely different story is being unraveled below. Ground-penetrating radar and muon tomography, non-invasive technologies capable of peering through stone, have revealed vast cavities and vertical shafts beneath the Sphinx and pyramids. These are not mere cracks or erosion voids. Some extend hundreds of feet below, with geometrical precision indicating deliberate excavation. In 2017, the Scan Pyramids project confirmed the existence of a massive chamber within the Great Pyramid of Khufu, dubbed the Big Void. This discovery stunned the global archaeological community because the void had remained undetected for over 4,500 years. It was as large as an aircraft hangar positioned above the Grand Gallery, suggesting a sophisticated internal design previously unknown. And then came more. In 2023, Italian researchers proposed the existence of interconnected tunnels stretching beneath Khafre's and Menkare's pyramids, perhaps even forming a network connecting multiple structures. Yet, despite mounting evidence, prominent Egyptologists like Zahi Hawass resist these claims, often dismissing them as pseudo-archaeology. But the scans don't lie. Are we standing atop a buried necropolis, a forgotten ceremonial complex, or an entire subterranean city? The ancients called the underworld Duat, a place of divine trials and transformation. Could Giza's depths be a man-made mirror of that myth? In February 2023, British archaeologist Piers Litherland unearthed a tomb in the cliffs near Luxor, believed to belong to Pharaoh Thutmose II. Hidden beneath rock and shadow, the tomb contained intricately carved burial goods, wall paintings, and inscriptions indicating royal lineage. What made this find extraordinary was its untouched condition, seemingly shielded from looters for millennia. But even more fascinating was what lay beside it: a sealed shaft descending even deeper into the mountain. Preliminary explorations suggest a multi-chambered structure, possibly a communal royal tomb or ceremonial site tied to the 18th dynasty. Egyptian authorities have classified the find as strategic, meaning details are limited. Meanwhile, in Abydos, the oldest sacred city in Egypt, archaeologists discovered the tomb of an unknown pharaoh from the obscure Abydos dynasty. This dynasty, once dismissed as a historical fiction, now has physical evidence of its existence. The tomb contains a gold-inlaid sarcophagus, ceremonial objects, and a unique crown design never before documented. These discoveries are reshaping timelines. The idea that Egypt's ruling dynasties were a clear, linear sequence is being challenged. Gaps are being filled with names we never knew, with lineages we thought impossible. What else has history buried? Long before Cleopatra charmed Rome, before Hatshepsut carved her name in stone, there was Neithhotep, the woman historians are now recognizing as Egypt's first pharaoh. Buried around 3050 BCE, her mastaba tomb in Nakhada is one of the largest ever discovered for that era. Inside, archaeologists found early hieroglyphic inscriptions, elite grave goods, and royal seals bearing her name and the divine symbol of Neith, the warrior goddess of creation and order. For over a century, Egyptologists assumed Neithhotep was the wife of King Narmer, but recent AI-enhanced scans of seal impressions suggest she ruled as a sovereign, her titles matching those used by kings, not queens. Some scholars now believe she co-founded Egypt's first dynasty and helped unify the Upper and Lower Kingdoms. If true, Neithhotep didn't just rule. She helped create the very idea of Egypt. And yet, she was forgotten, replaced in textbooks by men, until now. To understand Egypt's genius, we must leave the temples and enter the realm of ritual, astronomy, and engineering. The Sed festival was one of the most sacred events in ancient Egypt, a renewal of the king's divine power. Held every 30 years, it included a symbolic death and rebirth, where the pharaoh would prove his physical strength and spiritual worth. Some scholars believe it was a political mechanism to remove unfit rulers through sacred trial. Meanwhile, the Diary of Mirror, a 4,500-year-old papyrus found near Wadi al-Jarf, documents the day-to-day operations of Khufu's pyramid builders. These men moved limestone from Tura to Giza in flotillas, working under precise timetables using a decimal calendar system. Egyptians divided time into 36 decans, star groups rising every 10 days. This was used to mark time at night, proving their mastery of both lunar and solar cycles. Their measuring tools, the cubit rod and plumb line, achieved alignment of the Great Pyramid to within 3 arc minutes of true north. Modern engineers still struggle to replicate this without GPS. This wasn't magic. This was science. Etched in the darkness of the Pyramid of Unas are the oldest known religious texts in human history. The Pyramid Texts. Written around 2400 BCE, these inscriptions contain hymns, prayers, and spells meant to guide the dead king to the afterlife. They describe celestial boats, divine beings, and the secret names of the gods, knowledge so sacred it was hidden in the deepest parts of the pyramid. But what's even more fascinating is that these spells later appear in the tombs of queens. Inscriptions for Queen Neith and Queen Iput include resurrection rituals, invocations to the goddess Nut, and star path navigations once reserved for male royalty. And then there's Isis. The myth tells us she gained ultimate power by tricking Ra into giving her his secret name. In Egyptian theology, to know a name was to control it. In reality, this myth echoed how queens wielded power through lineage, knowledge, and ceremony. The lines between magic, science, and rule were blurred, and in those lines we find truth. Every discovery in Egypt isn't just about the past. It's about what we choose to remember. For centuries, Egypt was depicted as a land of superstition and slavery. Hollywood gave us mummies and curses. Textbooks gave us half-truths. Museums gave us stolen glory. But now, that narrative is collapsing. AI scans reveal structures beneath Giza. Tombs emerge from the hills of Abydos. Queens rise from forgotten mastabas. What was buried is rising. This isn't a fairy tale. It's a resurrection of memory, of complexity, of truth. Ancient Egypt was not merely a civilization. It was a message, etched in stone, encoded in stars, preserved in spell. And now we are learning to read it again. This is not just archaeology. This is revelation. This is Egypt unveiled. Now like and subscribe to this channel for more mind-blowing history stories you will love.